Welcome to the Unsidelined Life, the podcast that challenges and encourages women to stop denying themselves a full life and to step boldly into the opportunities God is preparing for you. Join me for raw insights and engaging conversations to guide your journey of self-discovery and pursue the life that God created for you. Welcome to the Unsidelined Life. This is Eileen Noyes, your host. I hope that last week's episode was a blessing to you. So as we are getting into the new year, as I'm recording this, we are almost, I think we're in, what is the date? We're in the third week of January. Can you believe it? Time flies, and I feel like it happens more and more. It just gets faster and faster. There's actually a scripture that refers to that, but anyways, I don't even know where it is. All I know is even my kids can say this. So, you think that time goes by faster as you get older, but I hear my kids saying that, oh my gosh, we're already at this time of year. And so there's just something to that, which means that time is a precious commodity. Time is valuable. Time is of the essence. And so in saying that, and as I move forward, I wanted to kind of give you just a little rundown of what is ahead. So there will be some changes, but I don't know exactly how it's going to look. I know that for sure we will be going through all of Proverbs 31 through this podcast. It is going to be like it is for me to get content for the assignment given to me, and that is Proverbs 31 Lady Bellator edition. It's going to be a 31-day devotional, and I'm about halfway through. I've put that down for a long time, but I'm going to get back into it. So this, in writing, I'll say that as a writer, different tips, different, things that I've been advised. And they're all different, and it all, it's a way, it's a method, or it's, just kind of a suggestion. But I have written with, general thing is you have an outline, but I have written in a manner that it goes in depending on where you are, the book. So those two are my books that I believe God has given me. They're still in the works of, as a good writer, the promoting and the marketing is probably less of a gift. And so as I continue to be wife, to be mom, to be podcast host, to be a coach, to do all the things, to write, speak, all the things that God has called me to do. I mean, not everything can happen at once. There's the juggling, there's the priorities, and there's the pausing. And so, anyways, getting back to the whole book writing, I love doing that, but it has been on pause. And so as I am in this book, the one thing that has been different, so again, I'm just bringing back to these two books, is in the initial stages of writing, at least for books like this, it is listening to God's leading. And really, as you get into it, is you're just writing. You're just taking the time, setting aside time. Sometimes it's 15 minutes, sometimes it's an hour, where I am committed to just write. And so it could be, again, I'll just give an example. For my first book, Sideline No More, I knew what God was calling me to write about. I knew the different chapters. I had the outline, but when I was writing initially, it was, okay, what, God, do you want me to write about in this sit down time? And so there were just moments, lots of moments every day where I would write, and it wasn't necessarily a continuation of the day before. And so I'm just getting that you're just getting content. You're not really checking your work. You're just writing. And so that is supposed to be a way to get you into a flow, to not be, proofreading every 5 minutes or even in that sitting necessarily, because that just is a way of slowing you down. And so the first book I would write every day. And as I got enough content, then I was able to puzzle it and then fill in. And so toward the end, that's where I would stick with, okay, I'm, done with chapter 1, let me go into chapter 2. And so then it was more of the sequential and completing, for the most part, going from start to finish. And so the difference, and bringing all this up, is because with the Proverbs 31 devotional, not to say that there's a right way or a wrong way, but for some reason, and maybe this will change, but I've just gotten into the mode of, I want to start chapter 1, verse 1, Proverbs 31. I want to start that. I want to finish that. I want to go to verse 2, finish that. And so I've done that all the way up until Proverbs 31:18. And so now I am going to get back into it. Here's the reason for the pausing for so long. I was writing and, of course, doing all the mom stuff, priorities. And it was over the summer where I knew that God was saying, okay, time out, pause. I want you to clean the house. And I remember asking God, because I was like, God, I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do all these things. And I need to get back into writing. And I want to do the coaching thing. How is this going to look? And also thinking, God, all my kids are home. They're slowing me down. They're slowing me down from the things that I want to do, the things that you're calling me to. And it was just, in a way, it was like oxymoronish. It's like, okay, I'm called to be a wife and mom. And that is my heart, is to encourage women to live out being her, being wife and mom, as well as the other things that God has called us to. But I was coming in a way of just like, God, like they're slowing down. They're slowing me down from what you're calling me to do. And so in that prayer, God says to stop, slow down, pause, and clean house. And so as he was telling me that, and as I was being obedient and following his instruction, I saw what was happening. I mean, it was the purging, it was the cleaning, it was getting rid of what doesn't serve me anymore. And through this process, and it was more than a couple of months, long story short, he was not just telling me to clean the house. He was giving me an assignment. And through this obedience to him and surrendering the things I desired to do, he was actually giving me my desires. And so after, starting the summer, and as things are going, and I'm seeing what he's doing, he's basically saying, I want you to address these messes. And after you address these messes and you tidy up and you clean up, you're going to see, okay, now, Eileen, I want you to go in this area. I want you to do this. I want this to operate in this way. I want this is how you're going to function. Functionality it was the next thing. It was putting things in order, putting things in place, putting systems in place. And then after that, it was this place of maintenance. And maintenance is more than just keeping things at a certain standard. The bigger thing that he was saying was, Eileen, as you are doing this with your home, I want you to create a sanctuary of my peace, my glory, and my presence. And so I saw how just cleaning house, which was a physical thing, turned into, or it was always there, but I was being revealed that, oh my gosh, this is more than just the house. This is more than me creating an environment of a physical house to create peace and to create his a sanctuary of his peace and his glory and his presence, because I wanted our house to be inviting. That's always been my prayer, Lord. Let people feel and sense you as they step into our home. He wasn't only showing me the physical home, he was showing me that I was to do the very same thing. I was to clean house in my spirit, in my soul, in my body. I was to clean house, assess his messes, deal with the messes, heal from the messes, see how function and order and systems take place in me in those three areas: spirit, soul, and body. And then what is the new standard? What's the new normal? What is the maintenance? And so as he's showing me all that, he says, do you see? Well, he asked me, do you see what I'm doing here? Because I just laid out for you your coaching program. I just laid out to you what you're going to do. And you had to go through it first. And so again, I bring all that up to address where I'm going with this. November was where I took a leap of faith with the prompting of my assistant, my dear friend, Kay. She nudged me, hey, let's not wait till January. Let's do it now. And so we did. And so now I've added the coaching piece, officially the coaching piece, into all that I'm doing. And surprisingly, and just I'm excited that my clients are coming. And I've done work with, there's probably about, one is about 2 months in, and then the other ones are following suit. But to see how God has used my transformation to help and walk alongside other women to see them transform. And here's the thing, in spirit, in soul, in body, it has been such a blessing. I love the fact that I get to walk alongside different women, different ages, different seasons in their life. But there's a commonality that God is doing a preparation work in these women for something else. So there's a transition out of one season in their lives to another, but God is using this time as they work with me as a preparation. So again, some are more than others in the sense of the physical aspect of things. Some people want to highlight, hey, I want to do things physically different. I want to, be exercising more. I want to take care of my health. I want to lose weight, that kind of thing. Some are more focused on the spiritual aspects of things, what their identity, what's happened, what messes have caused them to be at this place. And with the desire to say, I want to do things differently. And then again, with soul, I refer to it as spirit, soul, and body. That covers a lot. And so these women are asking for help, asking for guidance. And all this really kind of started, or what people that were drawn to me, was just because people saw my journey. One, there's a group of women who I have in some shape or form have lived life with, people in Wisconsin. We're 21 plus years there in that limelight. And so there were people that were just observing, and I didn't know, but people of observing my journey, to the point of seeing how I dealt with NFL and the limelight, to all of a sudden my life in my marriage in shambles, right for everybody to see, with cult involvement being right in the mix, and then seeing how God had gotten me through all that. So there's that group of women who are drawn to me and my journey, and they see that I can help them through. And then there's a whole group of women that have just seen my Facebook posts of my before and after of my different rooms, or the different things I'm doing with my house or my health. And they're the ones that are also seeking for guidance. And so that's what is causing this little transition for me, this maybe a slowdown of the podcast, not sure. So in saying all that, like I said, we're going to continue to go through Proverbs 31. So in this slowdown, not only am I coaching, but I'm committed to getting back to the Proverbs 31 devotional, which I believe is going to be a major blessing. It's going to be so insightful, because as I've been talking about, we have looked at Proverbs 31, or I know for me, then I had been discouraged by it because I didn't understand fully who she was and who I am in contrast to her. And so as you've hopefully been listening or watching, you've seen me define her. You've seen me, as God has shown me and as he's given me wisdom on it, because I've asked and he's just faithful to answer prayers, is he's shown me that I am a Proverbs 31 woman. And you are a Proverbs 31 woman. It's going to look differently than how those 31 verses look. So you may not know how to sew. You may not be, selling your garments. You may not be making your linens and all these things, but you are her in the sense of you, mom, you wife. You may not realize it, but yes, you are wife. You're the helper. You're the one, and I'm speaking it. You're the one that your husband trusts in, confides in. You're the one who does him good, not evil, all the days of your life. You're a mom. You're the one who gets the food. You're the one who takes care of the home. You're the one who sees the nurturing that is needed for the family. So you take care of the home. You're the one that is mindful of the needy. So there's all these areas. And then you also have an entrepreneurial spirit. And so when I say that, I used to hate that word, entrepreneur, because I didn't really have a clear definition. All I know was that I thought, like entrepreneurs take risks and with money and, they're doing one thing and then they're doing another. And I just didn't catch on to it. But in hearing and understanding more of what an entrepreneurship is, and on top of that, incorporating that with who we are as children of God, there is kingdom entrepreneurship. And so that has to do with being a problem solver, being one that is needed by someone else there's certain gifts that you have, there's certain gifts that I have that is needed by someone else. And so kingdom entrepreneurship is going, okay, God, you have gifted me and you have created me for a purpose to help not only increase your kingdom and to take territory, which is what we're supposed to do, as that mandate that God has given us, be fruitful and multiply, not in just kids, but be fruitful and multiply, take dominion. We're to bring heaven down on earth. And we are to spread the gospel, not only sharing about salvation, but we're to be little Christs on earth, and we're to take territory. We're to take dominion. We're to bring the kingdom of God here on earth. And so entrepreneurship is very much something that I now embrace in understanding that. And so Proverbs 31 is all about that. You'll see it all through there. And then as you understand who you are, and that as you know that you are her, grace to God, and this is why I'm enjoying doing this, and I'm excited to get done with that Proverbs 31 journal, is for you to be able to see your identity in that, and that you start living it out. I think we as women so underestimate the role and just the work that we've been given to partner alongside God, to be co-heirs, to be co-laborers in doing what he's called us to do as, again, wives, moms, impact makers that go beyond just the home. So it's inside and outside of your home. So that's what I'm called to do. And that's what my heart is to share that with you and to encourage you guys to do that. So as I'm wearing my sweatshirt, this is what you'll see. So there's been a change. The wording that used to be there, Lady Bellator, you'll see up there, was on here. There's a podcast that explains why I changed that out, but I love that one, it shows this is a fierce, strong woman who is a bad A, right? I won't say the word. She's tough and she's feminine and she is confident and she knows that she has authority in Christ and she knows that she has to wield that sword. She's a warrior in the spirit. She is the one who fights for her family, who contends for her marriage, her children, other people who she is supposed to fight for and stand for. And so there's so much into that. And she is, and see, this is where things have changed, is this scepter is now within the middle of it, XXXI. And that is 31, Proverbs 31. So Lady Bellator equals Proverbs 31. And that equals you. And that equals me. And so in this transition and slow down, I am going to put on the brakes a little bit as I navigate through that, just making sure it is, as I do this, as much as I loved having the help of pod allies to consistently and faithfully get these podcasts out every week, with me having and shifting the priorities a little bit, to always God, husband, kids, now coaching, yet podcast has gone down a little bit. And so content will still be there. It will be slowing down, but my heart is that I work alongside you. So if this resonates, if you desire to have transformation and acceleration in the transformation, that I would love to work with you. So in saying that, hello@ladybellator.com is where you could reach me. It will start there. So one-on-one for sure. But as I continue to go and as I continue to see how God is working in me to, implement the coaching piece, to implement transformation, now that he's given me framework, I'm excited to see where this goes. I'm excited to see also that as I commit to the Proverbs 31 devotional, I am excited to see what other things he is going to be giving me. There's been things, and I know you have this too, but there's been things that are brewing. There's been things that I desire to do, ideas, books, Little Lady Bellator, illustrated books. There's things that are in the works. There's things that it's just like, gosh, if I saw the visual, all the things that I feel like God is calling me to, it's like stacked behind me. And it's just a matter of going, okay, God, which one next? And so as I'm saying all these things, I hope that you catch that is also for you. That as I encourage and help you, and as you get to the place of healing, there's going to be a shift in your mindset and a shift in your perspective and a shift in your viewpoint to go from you and the different struggles that you have and the different wounds that may be blinding you or blurring your vision. When you are more healed, when you don't have to deal with the different wounds and the different baggage that you've had before, when you're changing your mindset from, this is hard and I suck at this, which is very much a thing. I suck as a wife. I suck as a mom. Or why don't I look like that? Why is this happening to this person? When our focus is on the negative and the lies and the limitations that the devil tries to put on us, we aren't showing up the way we're supposed to. And so as you heal and as you get rid of the junk, the things that no longer serve you, mindsets, habits, as you start transforming and dealing with those things, and as you start healing, and then as you start growing in your identity as a daughter of God, you are going to show up differently. You're going to see your purposes, and you're going to see the things that God is calling you to, because they're bigger than what you realize. And so, so that's my heart. That's what I'm going to do. And so, like I said, it's just going to be shifting a little bit. And so I hope that you'll continue on. And that I also hope this, that if you're listening, or if you're, if you're watching, you're a mom, you're a wife, you're one that is going, I want to step into that other stuff that God is calling me to. If that's you, share it. If you know someone, share it. Share this. Share the reels. Refer me in a sense of, hey, I saw this girl and she's talking about all these things and she's now coaching. She's got a program. hello@ladybellator.com. I am not trying to promote for the sake of, for me, but for you. Really, like, if I'm so passionate because I saw how the devil tried to keep me down, and I saw how the devil tried to silence my voice and discourage me and distract me and make me think small. And as I've learned to step out of that limited and the lies, and as I am healed and am healing, because it's never, I'm not done. God is not done with me until I leave this earth. So as I continue to grow, that's my heart, is to keep sharing and helping women along the way, because you're needed by someone. You're needed by your husband. You're needed by your kids. You're needed in that workplace, that calling that God has for you. The more healed you are, the more everybody benefits. And so this episode was actually supposed to be on Proverbs 31:10, which finally, after all these episodes, now we're on that scripture. And I'll just say it, and then I'll go to, I'll do the next episode on expanding on it. But this is what I want to leave you with. Proverbs 31:10. This is you and this is me, a capable, intelligent, and virtuous woman. Who is he who can find her? She is far more precious than jewels, and her value is far above rubies or pearls. Another translation just says this. It says, who could ever find a wife like this one? She is a woman of strength and mighty valor. She's full of wealth and wisdom. That's you. That's me. And when I first heard of this, or as I was going through it, and it says, who can find a virtuous wife? Who can find a virtuous woman? The first one who needs to find her is you. You need to find this in yourself. And so this is the journey that I want to take you on, is to continue with Proverbs 31. And so next episode, an emphasis on highlighting the YouTube more than the podcast, it will be on Proverbs 31:10. You are a woman of strength and mighty valor, and your worth is so much more than what you realize. And so I hope that by the end of this season, that you will have such a better, fuller understanding of the Proverbs 31 woman and the Lady Bellator that you are. All right, we'll see you next time.
Until next time, love well, celebrate your strength, and discover the new things you are capable of. You are a light in the lives of those around you, and no night is too dark for you to find your way.